guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about my 2021 project pan. Now if you followed me last year through my 2020 project pan, you'll know that last year was the first year that I got into it and I enjoyed it so much that this year, being 2021, I wanted to hit it even harder, even more kind of strategically, make it easier for myself, enjoy products whilst finishing ones that I'm not bothered about. I don't know what this is, but it's my strategy house thinking in my mind. If you haven't already, please do go watch my wash up of 2020. I'll link it up in the eye. I just kind of discussed my progress throughout the whole year, what I did use up, what I passed on, what I've carried on, what I've put back in my collection, what I've depotted, what I'm going to carry over from that one into this one. It kind of gave me a good understanding of what is achievable to finish in a year. Now, 2020 obviously wasn't the year where we all spent our lives out the house, so I didn't finish a lot of makeup that year, and I think I could have finished even more if I had been going to work every day and doing things like that. So with that in mind, I kind of wanted to up some categories and lower others and keep some the same, because I think 2021, unfortunately, it's not going to be like we're going back to normal in March. For the UK anyway, I genuinely think we're going to be in this for a little longer. I don't think I'm going to be going back to the office for quite a few months, let's put it that way. Particularly on an everyday basis. I think I'm going to be working from home quite a lot still, which I'm fine with, okay? I'm fine, I'm not complaining. But obviously that does have an impact with how much makeup I have. So I just want to tell you all these things just so you think, oh my god, why has she got like 3 primers and 7 concealers? Well, you know, I don't need to prime all day, every day. It's just not, it's not a requirement. For some of these products, I'll be measuring them on my trusty little pair of digital scales here, but some products I won't be. So some products are far too big for my scales. They're literally bigger than the scales, so I'll just be kind of using judgment of eye. One thing I definitely learned from doing Project Pan last year was to upgrade myself. So I got a pair of digital scales that are better grammage wise, so they're a bit more precise. So I'm hoping this year we can start off with precision and end in precision. There are some products that I won't be weighing and I'll just be doing like how they look, because they're just bigger than the scales, or I don't think things like a liquid eyeliner can be measured. Last year I measured them or weighed them, and I just don't think you can really necessarily weigh a liquid liner and things like that. And then other things I'm going to, instead of weighing them, I'm just going to see if I can wind them up and just show you how much is left of the product and do it like that. So yeah, slightly different from last year. I'll be measuring things differently in accordance to what the product is. But nevertheless, it will be here as a picture so you can see quarter by quarter what the progress is. I will just say that too, unlike other YouTubers where they update you on their project pan every month, I update mine every quarter, so it's every 3 months. So I'm starting this project pan now kind of midway through January. I don't know if it's going to be up. I'll try and get up as quickly as I possibly can, but it took me like the first week and a bit of January just to realise what I do actually want to use this year, and that took like a good week to even go, do I want to use this? Do I want to try it? Or like try it out on my face, things like that. So yeah, my next update will be the end of March, and then I have one at the end of June, end of September, and then obviously December, maybe early January, I'll have my end of year project pan where I summarise everything. I think that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to just ask them down below. I'll try and include as much as I can in the description bar down below as well, so it's not too confusing. But without further ado, let's just get into this. Okay, so I keep my project pan items on my desk where I can see them, where I can touch them every single day. That sounds really weird, but use them every single day. I keep them in these acrylic drawers and they just sit front and center so that every day I can see them and they are almost a priority in front of all of this stuff. Like I do reach for different things during project pan, but this is a priority and I know to reach for at least something in here when I'm doing my makeup. Okay, so let's start off with primers. I have quite a few primers here, but 2 of them are started. 2 of them are new, but they're small. I've got the Beauty Kitchen Raw Inventions SPF 30 Mineral Shield Daily Primer. It just looks like this. It comes in this little pot. You don't need a lot of this. It's very, very thick. I'd say it's almost as thick as sun cream, to be honest with you. But as you can see, I've nearly finished this. I'd say it's about 1/3 left, perhaps. It's going to be quite difficult to see, but obviously you'll see the measurement on the sides there. But I think I can get this done pretty quickly. I think this will be something that I reach more for when the sun comes back, so I can't see myself using this for maybe a couple of months yet. But when it gets to spring, summer, I can see myself using this basically on an everyday basis because it's got that really high SPF in it, and it is the consistency of SPF. So this is going to be a really good primer for when I'm out and about, hopefully, in 2021 summer. My next primer that I have is my MUA Pro Base Moisturising Primer. These are really, really nice. It just looks like this. I have the banana primer, and that is one of my favourites. I have used this, as you can tell. I would say, okay, the product like comes to about here. So there is quite a substantial amount, but obviously it has been started. So that's quite nice for me. I definitely noticed after last year having some products that are already started or don't have much to just finish them really encouraged me to use my project pan. I feel like when you have lots of things that just don't have any end in sight, it can be really stagnant and you can really feel yourself regressing and just not even wanting to pick the items up. So yes, I've got this Pro Base Moisturising Primer. This is just like a good everyday one, to be honest with you. So I have a lot of them and it's nothing special to me, so I just thought I would use this up. I then have the Anna Sue, I think it's Anna Sue actually. The Anna Sue Gel Foundation Primer. Now I got this in a box, like a beauty box, ages ago, and as you can tell, it's literally not even been touched once. Not once. It just looks like this. Like the packaging is just this really cute Korean style. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. It's like a jelly. It's very, very odd. It's got like this milky jelly consistency and it's very, very floral. So I have no idea how I'm going to get along with this, but it just says gel foundation primer, so I assume you just put it on like a normal primer. But I want to try this and I want to use it. It's so small. How much is this? This is 6ml or 6 grams. So 6 grams of primer, 6ml, that should be really easy to tackle, and I'm excited just to use it up. And then the fourth and last primer I have is the Illamasqua Hydra Veil. I've actually already gone through one of these before, but I had another one lingering in the back of my primer drawer, which I didn't know, and I have 2 of these now. So I thought, let's just tackle one. I think this hasn't been used at all. If you're familiar with the Hydra Veil, it's like a gel primer. It's very, very nice, very moisturising, hence the name Hydra Veil. It's a nice primer, but I have 2 of them, so I might as well just use one in my project pan, and I feel like it's going to be easy to use. If I can't use up all of these primers by the end of the year, there's something seriously going wrong, because this isn't a lot of product. For foundation, I have 3 foundations, all of which have been started. The first one here is the Maybelline Dream Satin Liquid Foundation. Just looks like this. I really, really like this foundation, if the camera's going to focus. I really, really like this foundation. As you can see, it's probably got like a third left, I would say. I've actually got this foundation on today and I really, really do like it. I think it works well with a lot of products. But I do actually have the new one. I've got the new one here, the Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation. So they don't actually sell the satin one anymore, to my knowledge, but they sell the Dream Liquid one now. What's this called? Dream Radiant Liquid. So I've got the newer version of it, so I thought I would just finish this up. And it's getting pretty old now, and there's not a lot left in it, so I feel like it's going to be really easy to finish off. So I'm looking forward to just getting this out of my collection and finishing that last third off. I then have 2 other foundations that I have started but just never pick up for whatever reason. I'm like, let's just use those. It's something that you're obviously not that interested in. Let's just finish them and enjoy them. The first one is the Clinique Even Better Foundation. It just looks like this. Obviously I cannot see through the tube, which is kind of annoying, but I would say I've got like 3/4 left, if not just over a half. So it feels kind of heavy, but not like too heavy. But yeah, this is a really, really nice shade match for me. I really, really like this foundation. I just never think to pick it up, so I thought I'd put it in the project pan, remember how much I liked it, or I just not bothered about it, and I can either choose to repurchase it later down the line or just say thanks for being here, goodbye. And then my third foundation I have is the Estee Lauder Invisible Fluid Makeup foundation. This is too dark for me. I don't know why I bought this shade. I bought this quite a while ago, so this might be one of those products that I put on my face and I'm like, oh, it's expired, let's throw this away. But you know, part of that is just testing it. I mean, look how dark this is. This is summer shade Eats Your Heart Out. It's the sort of thing that you can really sheer out. But like, okay, here it looks fine, but like when I get it there, you can see how orange it is. Like this is way too dark for me, but I'm thinking I can mix it in with other foundations and things like that, just so it's not so orange. But I want to use it up, or like come to a decision where I'm either throwing it out, passing it on, or finishing it up because I'm bored of looking at it in my drawers now. So those are the 3 foundations. I'm excited just to use them up. I think that's very achievable. I have 3 concealers here, one of which is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. What shade is this in? Light Ivory. This concealer is okay, but to be honest with you, thing is with concealer for me is I can get through concealer pretty quickly because I use it every day. Sometimes I don't use foundation, but I will definitely probably use concealer. And this is the sort of thing for me where it's like, oh, it's okay, but I will never repurchase it again because it's not that great. So to me, I'm kind of like, well, when am I ever really going to pick it up then? If I'm not gravitating towards it and I don't have any ambition to purchase it again, let's just use this up. It's practically full. I've only used it a couple of times, but I'm not bothered about this leaving my collection and never coming back in, but equally I don't want to waste it. The next one I have is the 17 Full Cover Flawless Finish 18-hour wear concealer. This is actually a Boots brand that's been discontinued last year. Is it last year? I think it was last year they discontinued this, or late 2019. I've used this once and it is a full coverage concealer. This is actually a really nice concealer, but the problem is that they don't stock them anymore, so it's not like I can really use it on camera because you can't purchase it. Of course I will be using this on camera probably all year now because it's in my project pan, but it's just something I can just use up and I want to get rid of, but because it's so good I don't want to just throw it away, so that's gonna be my project pan. And then I have one that's basically nearly finished, but it's just like the TARDIS, it's just never ending. And this is one of the Primark My Perfect Colour liquid concealers. This is in the shade Porcelain. I actually have so many of these concealers, it's untrue. So I just want to add this in. It's very lightweight in comparison to the other 2. So I can use this up. It won't take me long. Well, I say that. Hopefully it won't take me long and I like it, so yeah, so 3rd concealer. So for powders, one that I definitely knew I wanted to use up was this L'Oreal Nude Magique BB powder. Look how old this is. Like, you can't get this in the shops anymore. This is easily 5 years old. I know that's disgusting, but this is so lovely and silky still. This still serves as a brilliant under eye powder. It is pale, like very, very pale for me. Maybe like 2 shades too pale. However, this is so creamy that underneath the eyes and just the T-zone, things like that where you want to brighten, this is a really nice powder for that. So for someone that doesn't powder too much of their face, like I powder here just so that it doesn't transfer, I powder like across under my eyes and around my nose, like T-zone area, just to set my foundation. I think I can finish this. Hopefully I can. I don't want it in my collection if I can't finish it. So it's on the chopping block, so I had to finish it in the project pan. I've got one loose powder here. This is the Bare Minerals Dulux Original Mineral Veil. For some reason this feels like sandpaper to me, so this is going to be a product where I try it out for a couple of weeks, or by the 1st quarter I'll know if I want to get rid of it or not, and I can't see myself keeping it, but I want to give it a good shot before I do make that decision, because it might be that with a different technique that I want to continue using this. It's really, really pretty, and to be honest with you, the reason that I bought this was because it looked pretty, not because of the product inside, which is such a dumb thing, and I don't do that so much nowadays. But I bought this in like a Christmas thing and I don't really know why I bought it. I have got another powder, but it's carrying over from last year, and I'm going to just talk about those products at the very end of this video. But those are the only 2 powders that I'm taking for 2021, and I think if I don't enjoy that loose powder, then I'll definitely enjoy this pressed powder for the rest of the year anyway, which is fine. For bronzer, I wanted to use this dinky tiny sample of the Beauty Crop bronzer in the shade Sardinia Sand. It's actually the bronzer I have on now. This is really, really pigmented to the point where I was like, whoa, it's kind of difficult to not be patchy because it's so pigmented, and like the product doesn't move from where you put it on with your brush. So this is going to be a bit of a learning experience, but again, it's one of those bronzers, if I can actually open it, it's one of those bronzers that I'm kind of bored of seeing in my collection now. It just looks like this. It's a really nice tone. I would say it's neutral. It's not too orangey, not too cool, and I reckon this can be finished easily in like 4 months. Like, how could it not be? It's so tiny. How many grams is this? 2.5 grams. That's like an eyeshadow. Surely I can use this before June. Surely I can. Now this is the only face palette I'm taking into the project for 2021. This is a Smashbox Christmas face palette for 2018 or 2019. It might be 2018 Christmas actually, which is a terrifying thought because that was 3 years ago. But technically it's only like 2 years old because it was Christmas, if that makes any sense. But inside this palette is a massive mirror. Can you like literally see how big this mirror is? It's absolutely monstrous. But inside we have 6 highlighters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 highlighters, a contour, a bronzer, and like a highlighting powder, which, to be honest with you, I could just mix all of these powders together. So that's the reason I've only got one bronzer, because we have a contour and another bronzer in here. And I just want to use this now. It just sits in my collection. It's quite a big palette. And the products in here are really, really lovely. And to be honest with you, I just love the packaging, which is why I can't ever seem to use it because I don't want to get rid of it. But that's silly. So I've got 2 other bronzers in here, or like bronzer contours, and then 6 highlights. 6. I don't intend on using all of these. Some of these are way too dark for me. Like this one's too dark for me, I think it is. And is it this one? Yeah, this one's too dark for me as well. 2 of them too dark. I can make the other 2 work. This one is a pink shade and this one is quite dark as well, but I can make it work for me in the summer. So yeah, I'll be happy if I can use 2/3 of this palette, as in 6 out of 9 pans. And then on the same track as highlights, I do have 1 single highlight. I have 6 of them in that palette, but the problem is that not all of them are my shade. I thought I'd pick up the Mary Lou Luminizer. Now I actually have a backup of the Mary Lou, which is why I want to put this in my project pan, because look at it. There's like barely anything left. I have already hit pan on this highlighter, so I reckon I could make a good go of this, if not nearly finish it by the end of the year. This is a beautiful, 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 beautiful highlight. It's one of my absolute favourites. And should we just, it's so creamy as well, it's so creamy. This is my first ever highlight. You heard it first, my first ever highlight. I've given that no justification by swatching it all the way down here, but you can see how beautiful that is. If I don't use this up, I will not be heartbroken because this is one of my favourite highlighters anyway, so I just thought I'd chuck it in there for enjoyment. And then just to end the cheek product section, I have 3 blushes, all from Essence. I love Essence blushes. If you haven't tried Essence blushes, you are truly missing out. The satin ones, oh my god, another level of beautiful. I haven't put the Essence satin ones in my project pan, I've put the matte ones in. These are the matte touch blushes. I have one on my cheeks right now. I don't know if you can tell, but they're so buildable and you can make them subtle at the same time, which is really, really nice. I have 40 Blossom Me Up, which is what I've got currently on my cheeks. It just looks like this. It's like a cool toned blossomy shade, I suppose. I then have the shade 60 Cherry Me Up, which is a much more berry toned blush. Really, really nice. It's going to be nice all year round. And then I have 70 Bronze Me Up, which I'm thinking will act as a really beautiful blush and bronze. I can kind of drape this across my cheeks as a blushy bronze when I don't want to do loads and loads of different steps. So I've got those 3 blushes in my project pan, and I'm excited to use them. I feel like this video is 1,000 years long and we're nowhere near the end. Help me God. For brows, I'm actually carrying a couple of products that I used in 2020 for my project pan over to this year as well. So I thought I would just add in a few products that I know are achievable and that I know that I like, and then one thing that I just want to use up and get rid of. One of them is the Benefit Goof Proof eyebrow pencil in the shade 3. I like this, but not as much as Precisely My Brow, which is why I just want to use this up. I have a couple of these as backup from like Christmas sets and things like that, so I think I'm just going to be happy just to enjoy this and use it up just so I can get through my collection a little bit more. I also have the Benefit Ready Set Brow Gel. Absolutely love this gel, one of my favourite brows, top 5 brow gels. I wanted to put this in here because I feel like sometimes when I'm after a brow gel, I go after the same favourites, and this one's been started. I have backups of this, so I thought let's put in a brow gel that's my favourite, so at least then it's going to be project pan when I go to reach for it. I hope that makes sense, but in my mind it does. This thing is like never ending. I swear to God, I've had it for ages and it still doesn't even show any signs of being empty. So that's going in the project pan too. And then finally, for another brow gel, I've got the Beautanic Beauty Fill and Tame Brow Gel. This is actually a tinted brow gel. It's quite dark. It's what I've got through my brows right now. That is the only product I've got through my brows. And a tiny bit of eyeshadow, the MAC Charcoal Brown eyeshadow, just to give me some definition underneath my like arch. But this is very, very pigmented and it's a little bit messy, which is why I just want to use it up and say goodbye to it, because it just takes a little bit of finessing every single time and I cannot be asked. For eyeliners, I went strictly pencil. I have one liquid eyeliner that I'm carrying over from next year just as my liquid liner for the year. But I'm carrying over all of my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On pencils. These are all minis. They came in a pack, a Christmas pack one year, of all these wearable colours. They're all browns, bronzes and a black in there. So I feel like these might be dried up, I'm not sure, but I don't know until I start using them. So I want to see how much I can use this year out of all of these. I won't be sad if I can't use them all up, but I would just like to prioritise them to use them first before anything else. So these are all going in my project pan as a single entity, but we'll just see how many I use up. While I still have you here on the topic of eyes, I've got 3 eyeshadow palettes. I've got my Kiko Milano Eyes palette. That's a really good name. I have palette 1, palette 2 and palette 3. The pans are all falling out. The glue is like falling apart in these. These are very, very loved. I have the green one here, the orange one and the purple one. These palettes are really, really great. I actually put these in like my first giveaway, I think it was. I just want to use them up. I'm not showing them enough love because I've got so many products already. So I wanna use these. I want to use these. Last year, if you watched, I had loads of single Stila eyeshadows. This year I have a little Nabla palette full of randoms, full of random single shadows. I've got 2 Juvia's Place ones here. I think this is an Anastasia Beverly Hills, not entirely sure. But because I'm not sure, I'm not going to claim that it is. But the rest of them are Soap and Glory, so these 6 are Soap and Glory. This one I think is Makeup Geek. Yeah, Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie, really, really nice shade. And then this one is actually a face powder by Bourjois. It was like a sample I got ages ago. So we've got a bit of a mishmash of shades here. And I've actually got all of these shades on my eyes, like all the grey tones today. So I'm going to weigh them as a single entity and we'll see what I can use up and what I just want to get rid of by the end of the year. I'm thinking the Soap and Glory ones can probably go by the end of the year if they're not finished, because I have so many single eyeshadows. It's actually starting to worry me. So I decided to do that for single eyeshadows this year instead of liquid ones. I have got 3 setting sprays. I have the Primark Glow setting spray. This is the monster. This is absolutely massive. I don't think I've used this that much. It's got like 110ml of product. This is going to be a commitment. I've got this on my face today. It shoots out so violently that I normally avoid it. So I'm hoping just to use this up and just finish it by the end of the year. I just don't want any more in my collection, but it is pretty good when it's on the skin. But I want to use it up. I then have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Natural Finish Setting Spray. Again, just like the concealer, this is like nor here nor there for this product. I don't hate it enough to get rid of it, but I don't like it enough to ever repurchase it. So I just want to use this up and say goodbye to it. Like, I'm over it. So that's a tiny little dinky one. That's only 45ml. I think that'd be pretty easy to use up. And then I have another little tiny one, which is the MUA Makeup Academy Pro Base Cooling Spray All Day Wear Makeup setting spray. This is 70ml, so a little bit bigger but smaller than the Primark one. And I really, really like these. These are okay for the price. I think they do a good job. I wouldn't wear it on my wedding day or anything, but they're pretty good for the everyday. So I thought I'd just shove one of these in there because I've actually got 2 different ones of those. I'm going to include a lip balm in this year's project pan. I didn't include one last year and I don't know why. This one's a proper mank, so I'm really sorry for the pictures, but this is a Sport Effects Raspberry Rhubarb Recovery Lip Balm. I have 3 of these, 3, just of this one brand, and I have so many lip balms I actually want to cry. So I want to use this up. It's a domed one. You can see on the weight how much we're gonna sort of use up with this. I think it's achievable to use this all up. I was tempted to put 2 lip balms in there, but I didn't want to overwhelm myself. So let's just say 1 for now. I can use this 1 lip balm up, I'll be happy. And then we get to lips. I'm terrified. Okay, lip liners. These 3 irritate me in my lip liner collection because they're short and stubby. Nothing to do with the formula, it's just they sink to the bottom of my jar and I forget that they're there. I just forget that they're there. I've got a Lord and Berry one. It's a crayon lipstick in Maxi Matte. Oh, in the shade Here and Now. It's like a red like an orangey red, I would say. I don't know if you can see that. It's going to focus on my forehead. There we go. It's like an orangey red. It's quite nice. It's my preference of the red tones. I then have a Lord & Berry one called Vintage Rose Lip Liner. This is a bit of a skinnier one because it's supposed to be a lip liner as opposed to a lipstick, and it's more of a berry purple. I don't mind a berry purple, so we're gonna try and pan that. And then I have another Lord & Berry one. I didn't realise this is all Lord & Berry. Who knew? Okay, Lord & Berry, this is a blush. I've got this on my lips right now. I don't like blushes like this. I don't mind cream blushes. I actually love cream blushes, but I don't like them as a crayon. For whatever reason, doesn't vibe with me whatsoever. But this is a crayon blush in the shade Camellia, and it's just this really nice kind of muted pink, I would say. Is this going to focus my forehead maybe? There we go. A muted pink shade. I've got it on my lips now. I really like it. It's very creamy. And yeah, they're just the 3 lip liners I just want to use up because they irritate me. They're just so short and stubby that they sink to the bottom of the pot. Ugh, I just want to use them up. Finally, I know, finally, I have lip products. Now this this is like not achievable at all, but I just want to do it because it needs to be done. Obviously, like Jeffree Star got practically cancelled at the beginning of 2020. A lot of people don't like him now. A lot of people don't like channels that use his makeup. So I feel kind of stuck with literally tons of his makeup that I can't use on camera because, well, I can use it on camera, and I've already said that I'll continue to use his makeup just because I've paid for it and I want to use it and I don't want it to go like off. But one thing that I used to collect were his velour liquid lipsticks. Now this box, as you can see, is like, there's like 3 layers of lipsticks here. I don't know how many there are. I think the number is 44. I might have 1 or 2 in handbags just because probably the way. I say that number, but there's actually minis, so I'm going to count them as halves, but I'll put the number here of a picture. Oh god, I'll put them as a picture here now for you with a number overlay to show you how many I have. My whole goal with these liquid lipsticks is, obviously I'm never going to finish all of them, so the idea isn't to project pan all of them. The idea is to project pan as many as I can. As many as I can. So if I can even whittle 5 out of this collection, even if they're 5 minis, which would probably equate to like 2.5 lipsticks, I'll be so happy. But liquid lipsticks are the things that have the shortest lifespan out of lip products, I would say. Like a bullet lipstick lasts a little bit longer, whereas liquid lipsticks tend to just dry out quicker. So I mean, I really enjoy the formula of these. I really enjoy 99% of all these colours, so I think it's gonna be a pleasure for me to use these. But obviously I won't be like featuring them, they'll just be on my lips in videos like this where I already have my makeup done. So these are the lip products I want to use up. I do want to get to the point where I've used all of them and I'll have like maybe a top 5 lipsticks that I want to repurchase again. Like Celebrity Skin and Posh Spice, I think it is, and Gemini are like my favourite liquid lipsticks from him. So they're ones that I do actually want to keep in my collection going forward. But yeah, I'm going to keep them in this box just out on my counter, and every day I'll just pick a different colour. And I'm hoping I'll at least get through one. And that, folks, is it. It's a lot. I'm sorry that this video is so long, but obviously as every update comes, they won't be so long because I can just be like, this is the progress, this is the progress, this is the progress, this is the progress, every single month. And that's it. I'm thinking a lot of these things I can use up. The lipsticks, absolutely not. I cannot use them up. The eyeshadows, I'm probably not even going to use up one of these eyeshadows, but it's just to use my makeup and actually go for things that I don't pick up. All of the base products, cheek products, things like that, possibly the eyebrow products and everything like that. Face products, I know I can use up, so I know I can use all those products up. Things like eye products and lip products do take a little bit longer because the retail space is this big as opposed to this big, so that's a thing. And yeah, that's it. That's what I'm doing in Project Pan 2021. Please do follow this journey. The videos will be shorter, I swear they'll be shorter. But at the end of March, I'll be doing my first update on how I have been doing with makeup, weighing it, comparing it, showing you the pictures. And just like 2020, I'll be putting all of these videos in a playlist. I'll be putting them in a 2021 Project Pan playlist. So I'll be linking that playlist up here for you to, well, actually it might not be here right now because there's no videos in it apart from this one. But there will be one soon, as soon as the second one's come out. and you can follow along like that. If you do project pan too, please do tell me. You can link me on Instagram. I am on Instagram. I don't use it as much as I'd like to. It's something that I always keep meaning to do, but it falls like to the bottom of my list. But I am on Instagram, so you can tag me in your project pan to tell me how you're doing, things like that. I do reply to all of your messages, so yeah, tell me if you're doing project pan too. I'd be really intrigued to know. And if you don't, I highly suggest that you do, even if it's just like 1 or 2 items. I promise you, it does make you feel so, so good. Oh, I forgot to mention, coming out of my project pan 2020, I had a few items that I'm going to finish this quarter and just like take on for the project pan. The eyeliner, obviously I'm not weighing, but the Soap & Glory Super Cat liner I'm taking on to this project 2021 just because it's not finished yet. I had that last year. It's still not dead yet, so I'm just going to carry on using that this year. My Colourpop brow pomade, I'll put a little picture here of it now, of its weight. It's not dried out yet, but it might dry out during half of this year, so I'm going to carry on using that this year as well. This concealer will be done, so I'm not even going to mention that right now because that'll be done before our next catch up. And then the bronzer will be done by our next catch up too, probably. I might feature it in my next catch up just so you can see it. It looks like this. I'm not going to bother weighing it, but that's what it looks like. My MAC charcoal brown has barely anything left in it, but it's just something I'm going to continue using. And then my number 7 pressed powder is going to be like my second pressed powder for the year as well. There's half, I'd say, maybe a third left of this, and it's all right. So I'm going to carry on using it this year as well. It's going to be carried over from last year into this year's project pan. So there's a lot of makeup for me to use, but I think it is achievable if I stick to it, and that would be really good because that's a lot of products exiting my collection if I can use them all. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, tag me, comment me, message me if you're doing project pan this year. I highly suggest that you do. It's very, very rewarding for makeup lovers. Thank you guys for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoy project pan, thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, thumbs up if you're excited for 2021 project pan. I love you guys. Subscribe if you haven't already, ring the bell because you'll be notified of all the videos I upload every single week, and you won't want to miss out on more content from me. No, you would not. Love you guys. Take care, stay safe is what I meant to say, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.